Chapter 50, Jerky-chan's Role. I want you to go and inform those bandits that there is a large stockpile of food stored in my farm. Hiroshi spoke slowly, his voice chilling. Jerky-chan was momentarily stunned. Then an ugly smile squeezed onto his face, uglier than crying. Boss Hiroshi, please don't play with me anymore. I really repent. I will absolutely not inform those people. Jerky-chan's voice trembled with fear. He felt that Hiroshi wanted to enjoy the thrill of cat and mouse, so he pleaded desperately. I'm not joking with you, Hiroshi said expressionlessly. I want you to go and inform those people. Otherwise, how can I ambush them? Jerky-chan suddenly realized. He stammered, You want me to lure the enemy? What, you don't want to? Hiroshi's tone turned cold suddenly, his eyes filled with killing intent locked onto Jerky-chan. No, I am willing to atone for my sins. But I'm afraid I won't do well. What if they figure out something is wrong? Jerky-chan's throat felt dry. What Hiroshi asked him to do was to venture deep into the tiger's den, a life-threatening risk. Originally, he wanted to take the safest path, but Hiroshi forced him into the most dangerous situation. Jerky-chan was at his wit's end. Very well, since you're willing, do it tomorrow morning, Hiroshi smiled brightly. If you succeed, I will consider it your redemption. Jerky-chan could only nod silently. He had no choice. If he refused, even if Hiroshi didn't kill him tonight, once this matter leaked out, the other 20-plus people would tear him to shreds. Even his family wouldn't be able to stay in the town. What about tonight? Jerky-chan asked. Tonight, I'm afraid I'll have to trouble you, Hiroshi said softly. 30 minutes later, Jerky-chan was dragged back to the farm, his wrists chained and confined in the warehouse. Hiroshi ordered a combatant-class watchdog to guard him. If Jerky-chan showed any signs of resistance or escape, he would be killed immediately. Throughout the night, Hiroshi was very reassured with the watchdog on guard, and he slept very well. But Jerky-chan had a miserable night. Beaten by Hiroshi's steel pipes, he was in intense pain. Coupled with the cold temperature of the warehouse, Hiroshi only gave him a military coat to fend off the cold. The piercing cold made him curl up in a corner of the warehouse like a quail, enduring the occasional sleep interrupted by nightmares. In short, Jerky-chan felt like he had lived through years in just one night, suffering immensely. He had no phone and couldn't tell the time. In the darkness, he felt like he was losing his mind. It wasn't until a ray of daylight shone into the warehouse that he knew his night of torment was finally over. Now, he would rather risk his life to lure the enemy than continue to endure this torture in this icy warehouse. Bang! The warehouse door was pushed open from the outside. Hiroshi walked in, looked at Jerky-chan frozen stiff like a popsicle, and smiled. The time has come. Hiroshi walked over, unlocked the chain from Jerky-chan's wrist, and then took out something like a wristwatch from his pocket, tightly fastening it around Jerky-chan's arm. What's this? Jerky-chan hesitated and asked. The latest technology, a monitoring explosive, Hiroshi smiled. From his pocket, he took out something resembling a car remote control and pointed to the watch on Jerky-chan's arm. I will monitor your conversation with those bandits. If I detect anything suspicious, I will press the remote. Then your arm and half of your chest will be blown away instantly. If you're lucky, you won't feel any pain, and your life will disappear from then on. If you're unlucky, you will experience 15 minutes of excruciating pain from organ failure and excessive bleeding. It also has a tension sensor. If you try to take it off yourself, the moment the belt loosens, Hiroshi gestured with both hands, making an explosion gesture, and smiled. Boom! You'll see fireworks all over the sky, mixed with your flesh and blood. Jerky-chan's face turned pale. Instinctively, he reached out to touch the wristband, but his fingers stopped abruptly about an inch away from the strap. Boss Hiroshi, I truly repent. Do we really need to use such a thing? Jerky-chan was frightened and uneasy, his voice trembling, squeezing out a smile uglier than crying. If something goes wrong with this thing, my life will be in jeopardy. You better pray it doesn't malfunction and don't let anyone touch it. Otherwise, you'll bear all the consequences yourself. Hiroshi smiled, spread his hands, and said, "You can go now." Watching Jerky-chan drive away, Kiko walked out from the small building, standing calmly next to Hiroshi. "How was it?" Hiroshi asked. "His color is redder than yesterday, almost approaching black." Kiko pouted, somewhat afraid, and moved slightly behind Hiroshi, whispering, "Big brother, this person, I think he might do something bad to us. I'm very scared of him." Hiroshi looked deeply in the direction Jerky-chan had left, then touched Kiko's head and said, "It's okay. Brother will handle it. Breakfast is ready. Kiko can eat by herself." Hiroshi said softly. "Okay." Kiko was after all a child. She quickly forgot unpleasant things or people, turned around, and ran into the small building, sitting at the dining table to start devouring the breakfast Hiroshi had prepared for her. The quails raised yesterday had already laid several eggs. Hiroshi stewed them with tea leaves and soy sauce, making a small bowl of tea eggs. With millet porridge and meat buns, this breakfast was equally sumptuous. After eating and drinking his fill, taking advantage of Kiko's study time, Hiroshi took out his phone and dialed Jimmy's number. "Hey, Jimmy, notify our people to gather and get ready to move." With Hiroshi's call, the situation in the entire southern city was about to undergo a huge change. And all this started with Jerky-chan as the fuse. Hiroshi entered the system control interface, where the status of all guards and intelligent robots on the farm appeared in his mind. At this moment, among the many green light spots representing monitoring guards, one labeled Patrol Radar 01 had already left the farm range. It was moving fast, and from the transmitted images from its perspective, it showed that it was in the location of the vehicle driven by Jerky-chan. At this moment, Jerky-chan, who was driving the vehicle in a state of panic, completely unaware that there was a small radar the size of a thumb quietly hanging at the rear of the vehicle. Unlike ordinary radars, it had a small propeller on top and 6 metal joints below, gripping the antenna at the rear of the vehicle tightly, transmitting a large amount of footage back to Hiroshi's mind. The patrol-level radar is tracking the target, and everything is normal. The target's route has not deviated.